Level 1. Ordinary Boy. You were born in Rome, a city alive with noise, smoke, and the smell of bread baking in clay ovens. Your life was simple, your days measured by chores, lessons, and running through narrow streets with other boys. Markets overflowed with merchants shouting their wares, and the senators' voices carried through the forum, distant and commanding. You listened to stories of battles and conquests from your father, a craftsman who admired Rome's legions, though you had never fought a day in your life. The soldiers fascinated you. Their armor gleamed in the sun, their discipline precise, their presence commanding attention. You noticed the veterans too, scarred and quiet, nursing their wine in taverns. Rome respected them, feared them, and you realized even as a boy that courage and skill were measured harshly, in battle and in obedience. The idea of joining them seemed distant, almost a dream. But you felt a quiet pull, a need to prove yourself beyond the streets. Friendships were simple but instructive. Play in courtyards, racing, mock fights with wooden sticks taught lessons in leadership, strategy, and resilience. Even in games, you learned to observe, anticipate, and act decisively, skills that would matter far more when survival was on the line. Each scraped knee, each bruise, became a small teacher, shaping your body and mind for challenges you did not yet understand. At night, the city transformed. Empty streets, flickering torchlight, and distant guards' shouts reminded you that Rome was alive, watching, judging. Stories of battles, of men dying and conquering, filled your imagination. You felt ambition stir, though you could not yet name it. Your life was ordinary, but your mind was reaching towards something greater, a destiny shaped by steel, strategy, and courage. By early adolescence, you began informal training, wooden swords, basic formations, running through drills with friends. Discipline, focus, and endurance became part of your daily life. You learned to respect strength, to recognize advantage, and to act when opportunity presented itself. Rome itself became a classroom, teaching you patience, observation, and the quiet determination that would define you in the years to come. You were an ordinary boy, but you sensed the stirrings of potential. The streets, the forum, the soldiers, all became pieces of a larger world you would one day enter. One day, you would leave the comfort of ordinary life and step onto the path of warriors, where survival, skill, and courage would define your future. And though you did not yet know it, the city was already preparing you for what was to come. Level 2. Joins Legion. The day you leave home, the city feels both familiar and distant. The streets you ran as a boy are behind you, replaced by the dusty road leading to the legionary camp outside Rome. You carry only a small pack, a short sword handed down from your father, and a heart full of anticipation and fear. The air smells of sweat, leather, and burning torches as other recruits march past, their faces hard, their eyes wary. The camp is a world apart. Tents stretch in neat rows, soldiers drill with relentless precision, and the clang of swords against shields fills the air. A centurion, tall and unyielding, eyes you and the others like cattle, measuring every twitch and hesitation. He speaks little, but every word carries weight. Obedience is demanded, hesitation punished. You are no longer a boy, you are a recruit, a body in the formation of Rome's war machine. Training is brutal. Dawn comes before you are ready. The sun sets long after your muscles scream. You learn to march with armor that bites into your shoulders, to carry packs heavier than you imagined, to stand for hours without complaint. Shields, swords, javelins, formations. Every skill is drilled until it becomes instinct. Pain is constant, exhaustion normal. Sleep is scarce, and the smallest mistake draws the harsh gaze of the centurions. Yet, even in the suffering, you begin to understand discipline. Each drill teaches not just skill, but strategy, anticipation, and cohesion. You are a single piece in a vast organism, and you must move in rhythm with others to survive. The bonds among recruits deepen, forged in shared pain, and the unspoken knowledge that survival depends on trust, timing, and courage. Every misstep costs more than bruised pride. It could cost your life. Meals are simple, mostly bread, salted meat, and water, yet they are consumed in silence, in rhythm with the camp. Conversations are brief, camaraderie is measured, earned through endurance rather than words. The veterans watch you closely, noting the weak, the reckless, and the observant. You learn to move without drawing unnecessary attention, to observe without being noticed, to measure the world as it measures you. By the end of the first week, the initial fear gives way to focus. The hardships of the camp become tools for growth. You discover resilience, patience, and the first taste of pride. You are not just a boy anymore. You are a soldier in training, a part of something larger than yourself. The legions demand obedience, but they also reward strength, cunning, and endurance. Every day, you grow closer to becoming the man who will one day fight not just for survival, but for glory and honor in the name of Rome. By nightfall, when the camp quiets and the stars rise over the tents, you feel it. Your life has changed. The ordinary world is behind you. Ahead lies the path of the Legion. Long marches, harsh drills, battles unknown, and a transformation from boy to soldier. You are no longer ordinary. Rome has claimed you, and you will learn to serve, endure, and fight as one of its warriors. Level 3. Survives first battle. The first battle comes before you are ready. The morning fog hangs low over the field, damp and cold, and the distant cries of the enemy make your stomach churn. You grip your spear, the wood slippery in your hands, and tighten your shield strap. Months of drilling in the camp cannot erase the fear that settles deep in your chest. Around you, other recruits stand tense, eyes wide, every man knowing this is the test of their lives. The centurion's voice cuts through the mist, sharp as a blade. "Hold the line!" he shouts, and instinct takes over. You march forward, your steps matching the rhythm of the men around you, a machine of discipline in a world suddenly chaotic. Spears clash, shields splinter, and the scream of men pierced by metal echoes across the field. Dust, blood, and sweat fill the air. Every sound is amplified, the clash of steel, the cry of the dying, the barked orders of officers. You stumble once, nearly falling, but a comrade steadies you. Training floods back, foot placement, stance, thrusts, parries. Each action is survival. You move mechanically, driven by muscle memory and the fear of being the first to fall. Around you, men you laughed with in camp are screaming, bleeding, or gone entirely. The weight of mortality presses on your mind, and yet there is no time to think, only to act. The battle stretches for hours. One moment, you drive the enemy back, shield against shield. The next, a spear grazes your shoulder. Pain is sharp but distant. Adrenaline and fear sharpen your senses. You begin to anticipate the enemy's movements, noticing patterns in their attacks, exploiting openings, and protecting those beside you. Discipline is your weapon, courage your shield. Panic would be death. By midday, the tide shifts. Your cohort holds the line, pushing the enemy back under relentless pressure. You witness both heroism and horror. Veterans fallen, young soldiers screaming, friends carried off in silence. Every moment reinforces the same lesson. Survival depends on focus, endurance, and the ability to act when instinct and training demand it. You endure not because you are fearless, but because fear is useless in the face of steel and strategy. When the dust settles, the battlefield is a grim tableau of victory and loss. You are bloodied, exhausted, and shaken, but alive. The first battle has changed you. You are no longer the boy who dreamed of heroics from the safety of the city streets. You have faced death, survived it, and learned the cost of being a soldier of Rome. Courage, discipline, and focus have carried you through. And though the war stretches ahead, you know that you can endure, that you can survive, and that one day you may even lead others to do the same. Level 4. Leads, soldiers. After surviving battle, you are no longer just a soldier. You are a leader. The centurion grants you command of a small group, a century of 14 men. They look to you for guidance, for decisions that will decide life or death. The weight of responsibility presses down on you immediately. Every choice matters. Training becomes your constant task. You drill your men, teach them formations, sword and shield techniques, and ensure their equipment is always ready. A misaligned shield, a dull spear, or a careless step could cost a man his life. You learn that leadership is as much about preparation as it is about courage. Competence earns respect, and respect saves lives. The first time you lead your men into battle, fear courses through your body. The field is chaos. Shouts, cries, and clashing metal surround you. You give orders, reposition soldiers, and act to cover weaknesses. One miscalculation could destroy your unit, but indecision is worse. You learn to act fast, to anticipate, to make split-second choices. Leadership becomes instinct. Beyond tactics, you manage morale. Some men are brave, others tremble with fear. You encourage the hesitant, restrain the reckless, and lead by example. Courage spreads faster than orders, and your men look to you to measure risk. When one of your soldiers falls, grief strikes hard. You write letters to their families, careful to honor them while concealing the horror. The burden of their lives now rests on your shoulders. By the end of your first campaign as a leader, you notice a shift. Fear still exists, but it is controlled. You read the battlefield like a living map, predicting enemy moves, protecting weak points, and exploiting openings. Your men trust you, and that trust strengthens your confidence. Each successful maneuver reinforces your authority and sharpens your judgment. Leadership is not glory, it is responsibility. You carry the lives of your men, the weight of their trust, and the constant awareness of death around you. The ordinary boy who dreamed of Rome is gone. In his place stands a man who commands, protects, and survives. The lessons of battle, discipline, and human resilience have forged you. Ahead lies greater challenges, rival generals, and campaigns that will test every skill you have learned. You are no longer a follower. You are the one your men look to. You have stepped beyond survival into command. Every decision, every order, and every action matters. Not just for you, but for the lives entrusted to your care. The road to greatness is long, but now you walk it with purpose, authority, and the understanding that leadership is the heaviest weapon of all. Level 5. Defeats rival generals. Your first victories as a leader bring recognition, but the war is far from over. Rival generals command armies as experienced and cunning as yours, men who force you to test every skill you have learned. This is no longer survival or small skirmishes. It is strategy, calculation, and anticipation. Every move must be precise, every decision weighed against countless consequences. You study the enemy carefully. Scouts report on troop positions, terrain, and fortifications. You plan your formations, supply lines, and timing with meticulous attention. Every soldier under your command knows their role. Discipline and trust are your strongest weapons. Fear is useless. Hesitation could cost lives. Your men must act instinctively, guided by your commands. The first battle against a rival general begins with tension stretching across the field. Thousands of soldiers clash, shields collide, and the air fills with the screams of men. Dust and blood mix under the sun. Your heart pounds, but your mind stays focused. You issue orders clearly, reinforce faltering lines, and exploit weaknesses in the enemy formation. One misstep could destroy everything. The battle rages for hours. You anticipate enemy maneuvers, adjust your strategy constantly, and maintain control over your men. When the enemy attempts a flank, you counter it, turning their attack against them. Slowly, the tide turns. Their lines break, their general retreats. Your forces hold the field. The enemy is defeated, routed, and your command is proven. The significance of victory is immediate. Your soldiers trust you more deeply, allies respect your judgment, and even enemies acknowledge your skill. You understand that leadership is measured not only in victories, but in the ability to inspire, to strategize, and to execute under pressure. You have shaped the outcome with your decisions, your foresight, and your calm under chaos. By nightfall, the battlefield is quiet, but filled with the reminders of cost. Men are wounded or dead, and the ground is soaked with blood. You walk among your soldiers, checking on them, ensuring formations are secured, and morale remains intact. You are no longer just a commander of a century. You are a strategist, a tactician, and a figure your men will follow in future battles. Defeating a rival general is a turning point. You have proven your ability to outthink, outmaneuver, and overcome seasoned opponents. Rome begins to take notice. The lessons of command are becoming second nature. You know larger battles lie ahead, where entire armies will follow your orders, and the decisions you make will determine not only victory, but survival itself. You are learning what it truly means to lead men, to bear the weight of their lives, and to shape the fate of legions. Level 6. Commands Army. After defeating rival generals, your command grows. You no longer lead a century or cohort, you command an entire army. Thousands of men move at your orders, and the weight of their lives rests entirely on your decisions. Each march, formation, and engagement must be precise. One misstep could cost countless lives. You spend long hours studying maps, analyzing terrain, and coordinating subordinate commanders. Communication is critical. Messengers, signal flags, and scouts carry your will across the army. Orders must be clear, simple, and exact, because confusion in the field brings death. You learn to trust your instincts and to anticipate problems before they arise. Campaigns are grueling. Men march for days with limited supplies. Food runs low, exhaustion sets in, and disease spreads. You balance strategy with logistics, ensuring troops remain fed, rested, and ready to fight. You must inspire discipline and courage, even when fear grips your soldiers or hope seems distant. Leadership is no longer personal heroics. It is management, foresight, and endurance. In battle, you oversee movements rather than fight directly. You direct the front lines, deploy reserves, and respond to unexpected threats. Enemy maneuvers test your judgment at every turn. You adjust formations, counter flanking attacks, and seize openings as they appear. The stakes are immense. Every command you give shapes the outcome. Every delay risks disaster. By the campaign's end, your reputation solidifies. Soldiers trust your judgment. Allies respect your planning, and enemies recognize your skill. You are no longer a mere commander. You are the mind behind the army, guiding men, anticipating threats, and orchestrating victories. The lessons of survival, strategy, and human endurance converge. You now understand the burden of large-scale command. Lives, victories, and losses are measured in thousands. You have learned that leadership is not about glory. It is responsibility, foresight, and the careful balance of risk. Your decisions echo across the battlefield, and your influence determines not only who lives and dies, but the course of campaigns. Rome acknowledges you as a general of consequence. The battlefield stretches beneath your gaze like a living map, every ridge and river accounted for. You command respect and loyalty, and the future of your army rests on your skill, judgment, and endurance. You are no longer learning. You are guiding, shaping history through careful command. Your men trust you, your enemies watch you, and the weight of leadership is yours to bear. Level 7. Greatest Warrior. Years of campaigns, battles, and command have forged you into something few men become: a warrior of legend. You are no longer just a soldier or a commander. You are Rome's finest, known across provinces and enemy lines alike. Your skill with sword, spear, and strategy has been tested against seasoned generals and countless soldiers, and you have prevailed. You have seen death too often to fear it, yet respect it still. Every battle has left scars, both visible and hidden. Each loss of a comrade teaches a lesson you cannot forget. You have learned to read the battlefield in an instant, to sense where danger lies, where opportunity waits, and how to move your men with precision to exploit it. Your presence inspires courage. Your decisions save lives. At the head of your army, you are both leader and exemplar. Soldiers mimic your discipline, your focus, your calm under pressure. They trust you not only for orders, but for guidance, for the judgment that comes from experience. When you step onto the battlefield, even veteran soldiers feel steadier, braver. Your reputation alone shifts morale. turning hesitation into resolve. You have faced rival generals, outmaneuvered armies larger than yours, and led your men through campaigns that would have broken lesser leaders. You strike with precision, commanding from the front when necessary, yet coordinating vast formations with an understanding of strategy few possess. Your victories are not chance. They are the product of foresight, experience, and an unyielding will. Despite your accomplishments, you remain disciplined. Glory is fleeting, and the cost of misjudgment is always visible. You weigh each engagement carefully, knowing that a single error could destroy what you have built. Leadership now blends with personal skill. You fight not only to win, but to teach, to inspire, and to endure. Rome watches and honors you. Tribunes, senators, and soldiers alike acknowledge your prowess. Your name is spoken with reverence and fear. But the true measure is the loyalty of the men under your command and the victories your army achieves. You have become the embodiment of Roman martial excellence, a warrior whose deeds will be remembered long after the dust of battle settles. Even as the campaigns continue, you feel the transformation complete. From an ordinary boy to a legionary, a leader, a general, you have achieved what few can: mastery of war, command of men, and the respect of allies and enemies alike. You are Rome's greatest warrior, tempered by fire, honed by experience, and ready for any challenge that comes next. The battlefield has shaped you, and in turn, you have shaped history.